Lend-Lease for the Soviet Union? Never heard of it. And why is it still beneficial to the Putin regime since the end of the Cold War? Subscribe to our channel and click on the bell not to miss new episodes on Online UA International. The key role in the victory over fascism in the World War II was not played by a heroic Russia, as Putin claims, but by the US military support for the Allies. World politicians are well aware that the victory over the Third Reich was determined by Western weapons and that the USSR would not have survived without the Lend-Lease. But today, a narrative is spreading among politicians who are loyal to Putin's regime that Ukraine is unable to effectively resist without the help of its partners. This raises the question, would the Soviet Union have won the battle against fascism on its own, without the help of the democratic world and the Lend-Lease?
I believe that without that Lend-Lease, the Union could not have won that war. I know that. It was thanks to this Lend-Lease that the Allied forces actually won. But, of course, Russia and the Soviet Union concealed this through their propaganda. Now everyone thinks that it was the Soviet Union that won. Let's just say that the Allies won, because given the enormous losses of the Soviet Union, this narrative of victory and Victory Day is not true. It looks absolutely comical.
Therefore, it is an exaggeration that only the Soviet Union and Russia won this war. It is absolutely wrong, and there are a lot of facts that prove it.
United States President Joe Biden signed the Ukraine Lend-Lease Act into law on 9 May 2022. During World War II, the signed Lend-Lease helped the USSR and its allies defeat the Nazis.
In the most difficult time of the war, in the decisive battles that determined the outcome of the struggle against fascism, our people stood alone on the difficult, heroic, and sacrificial path to victory.
There's definitely not a single Russia here. Firstly, at that time, the inviolable Soviet Union consisted of 15 republics. Secondly, the entire democratic world united in the war against Hitler's tyranny. In total, the United States transferred almost $10 billion in military aid to the USSR under the Lend-Lease. Now it is more than $178 billion.
We were 50 to 100 years behind the advanced countries. Almost half of all American cargo was delivered to the USSR via the port of the Far East and the Trans-Siberian Railway. It was a long but relatively safe route.
The convoys delivered cargo to Murmansk, Molotovsk, and Arkhangelsk. The fate of the PQ-17 convoy was the most tragic in the summer of 1942, when only 11 of the 35 ships reached Arkhangelsk. The nomenclature of supplies under the Lend-Lease was determined by the Soviet government in such a way as to plug the bottlenecks in the needs of industry and the army. This is what Marshal Zhukov said.
Now they say that the Allies never helped us. We had no explosives, no gunpowder, and how much sheet steel they sent us. How could we have quickly set up tank production if it had been without American assistance with steel? And now they are presenting the case as if we had all this in abundance.
Soviet soldiers took part in the Battle of Kursk and Berlin in American tanks. Automotive assistance was also important. After all, the share of American vehicles under the Lend-Lease was more than 400,000 units, two-thirds of the USSR vehicle fleet. The grandfathers who are still alive still remember with gratitude the trouble-free Studebakers, Willys and Dodges. Lend-Lease not only armed, but also fed, clothed and treated the Soviet Union. The United States supplied 4.5 million tons of food, including 789 million cans of stew. This is 480% of the USSR production for the entire war. But even the stew of the Second World War has a separate false Kremlin narrative.
Our soldiers used to call Americans stew second rate. When it came to stew, the supplies did not cover 80% of their needs.
And we recall that the nomenclature of the Lend-Lease was determined by the government of the USSR. The United States also donated more than 16 million army boots and almost 258 million buttons to the Soviet army. So it is clear that it was the Lend-Lease that helped the Soviet Union survive. And pro-Putin politicians are merely practicing propaganda narratives to satisfy the dictator's ego. Today, the whole world supports Ukraine in its fight against Russian fascism. Our partners have a good heart, a strong arm, and a strong shoulder. Therefore, we will definitely win. After all, good always triumphs over evil, just as light destroys darkness in its path.